saw Trisha Paytas on my 20th birthday, and here's everything I learned. Hi people of the world, my name's Natalie. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel, and I'm very excited because today I'm going to be talking about the time I saw the Eras Tour in Pittsburgh. Well, not that Eras Tour, the real Eras Tour. The Eras of Trish. Yeah, I got to see Trisha Paytas live, and I got to see her live on my birthday. So shout out to Milena. This video is actually in dedication to my friend Milena because she's so awesome, and we got to see her together. But this video is just going to be talking about what Trisha Paytas does on tour and my final thoughts. I told my mom I was going to go see Trisha Paytas. This was her exact reaction. Which is fair, because whenever someone asked me who Trisha Paytas was, it was kind of hard to describe. My best words is that she's an internet celebrity, and she's lived like a million different lives. She was on The Ellen Show for trying to break a record for world's fastest talker. She was on America's Got Talent. She has many singing and artistic, beautiful covers. She's just known for being famous on the internet and getting herself into some controversial situations, but that's not the point. The point is she's now doing a tour across America. Well, she's not anymore, and as of the filming of this video, she is still very, very pregnant, but has not given birth yet to the new pope. So she is very, very, very super pregnant and just touring around different cities and basically singing cover songs, singing some of her own songs. So it was definitely an interesting experience. So we went to the venue, and in Pittsburgh, it was at the Benedum Center. And the Benedum Center is like our really fancy theater. It's where the ballets are, the Nutcracker's there every year. We have Broadway shows that will come through. So the Benedum is very fancy. I will insert some clips of what the Benedum looks like, how it was kind of changed and transformed with all the Trisha Paytas fans, but it was definitely an interesting venue because I've never been to a fancy thing at the Benedum, so that was pretty cool. But as soon as you walk in, you could tell the venue was not built for a concert. The merch line was insane. Literally, so when you first walk in, there's two really big staircases that you're able to get to your seats. There's like the upper level, the lower level, and then there's a basement. So there's two staircases on both sides that go up and down. And then the merch table is genuinely like, as soon as you walk through the doors, there's the merch. And usually for a theater, unless you're me, you don't really get theater merch, but I do. Typically for a lot of shows, merch never is really an issue. You can see the tables as you first walk in. They might have a line. The only time I've seen a really crazy line was whenever Hamilton came to town, which is pretty common. But the line was crazy because it went all the way down. It went down the lower staircase all the way into like the basement where the bathrooms are, which is crazy. I've never seen anything like it before. So we decided like if we ended up waiting in the merch line, we would definitely miss the show. So we ended up going to our seats. And then it was like the sing-along. Again, I've never been to a show in the Benedum where they just play some music and pop songs as you're walking in, which was pretty cool. So we got to hear some pop songs just like as we were waiting. And then finally, the moment arrived. And Trisha came on to this like clock and she was doing a countdown. And then at the end of the countdown, she just played clips of herself, which I don't really know what I was expecting because it's called the Eras of Trish, but it genuinely was just like.
Hello, and listen. I suspect with my brain new inventions, Mr. Tarantino. I love you, sir. Guys, hi. A little lippy thing, you know? So today I am going to attempt to break the world record for the world's fastest talker.
I'm trying to insert a clip. It's just herself. And honestly, I feel like it's iconic. I don't want the tone of this video to come off wrong because I am in full support of the Eras of Trish just because it's so much fun. Like, I feel if I were to ever become super famous, that's what I would do. I would get to travel the country and just sing my favorite songs and dance on stage and wear fun costumes. So I just had a lot of fun. And then how it was broken up is she performed in different eras. So she opened up with her Disney Channel era and she sang some Disney Channel songs, which was a lot of fun. Disney, please don't copyright me. I'm not going to play long clips. But the thing that is very weird is that everyone was recording. And I know it's like modern concerts, people are recording and not listening, and like, I get it. That is a very valid critique. People are not living in the moment. But one thing that kind of added another layer is the fact that we were in the Benedum Center, and like, I love theater. Maybe I've watched a slime tutorial bootleg or two, but the idea for me of filming in a theater is crazy, because even in a concert you're not supposed to, but like every single person was filming. We were on the upper balcony and like looking down at like everyone in like the pit. Everyone in the lower levels was filming. Everyone in front of us was filming, and it was crazy because I was like, I just kind of felt like I should film and obviously make it for my epic YouTube content. But it was so insane because it was in this like beautiful theater. So then she comes on, everyone goes crazy. She sings her Disney Channel era. Then she kind of goes and talks to the crowd as she does. And then there was this girl who brought like Amish cheese and like works for the Amish. She was talking to the crowd, and then she went to her next era and kind of sang some of her own songs. Which was a lot of fun. She later transitioned into her emo era, and this was just so funny. So she sang her emo songs and kind of went into like, it was a dark time, just kind of going into that aspect. So I'll play some clips here. After that, she did her musical section, which honestly, like, this is what prompted me to think that I want to do my own tour, because she genuinely just sang cover songs of, like, she sang Popular, sang a few songs from Beetlejuice, and that just made me so happy. Like, she was just having fun. And the one thing I didn't mention earlier is she was like 8 or 9 months pregnant at this point. Well, not in the show, but in Pittsburgh in June, she was like 8 or 9 months pregnant, and she was so pregnant. She could have popped at any minute, and she was just dancing around stage, and like, it just made me laugh. It was just such a fun show. So she sang her cover songs, and then she had like a freestyle section, and she like took requests from the audience. So she just kind of had a space open so she could sing whatever song she wanted. So she ended up singing Shallow, which was really fun. That's my friend Melena, like, that's what she wanted to see. So really exciting. She got to wear a hat and everything. And then she also sang Defying Gravity, Pink Pony Club, so just my playlist. That was a lot of fun, really awesome. They also sang Happy Birthday to a girl in the crowd, and her birthday had been like 3 days ago, but then I pretended like they sang Happy Birthday to me because it was on my real birthday. So I basically had all of the city of Pittsburgh and all of Trisha Paytas singing Happy Birthday to me. Natalie! And then after her like freestyle section, she transitioned into some more of her own songs, and this I think was my favorite part. She sang the fan favorite, I Love You, Jesus. Also got to debut her new song, Gay, because it was her first show of Pride Month. So we got to be the first ever people to hear We're All a Little Gay live, which was very, very impactful for me. And then we got to end the show off with Freak, Freak, Freak to Get Freaky. And yeah, So after the show was over, my friend Milena and I, we went to get merch because we wanted to get merch, but the line was crazy. So we kind of left as she was like finishing the last song, I guess like before like the bows. She also had backup dancers, which I just think is cool. Like she had her own backup dancers. And like imagine training for like the Trisha Paytas Eras tour. Like you're a professional dancer. Like that's so fun. So as they were kind of doing bows, we left, we got in line for merch. And even though we left early, like as I was saying, the merch tables in the front, the line was already starting to go like down the stairs to the basement. So we ended up getting in line at that point. And then once the main doors let out, it was insane. So everyone was like leaving to come out of their seats, but also going back to wait in line for merch. And then everyone was like flooding down the stairs. It was very, very chaotic. But we decided to still wait in line for merch. So it actually went by quicker than you would think. Ended up getting in line. But by the time we were there, pretty much all the sizes were sold out. I think in 3 of the shirts, the only sizes they had were like large, extra large, maybe double, triple XL. Most of the other merch was sold out. I got this hat, so I ended up getting this hat. And then Milena made us these shirts. She made them, DIY queen. So we got to have our matching shirts. So I just ended up getting this hat, which is actually pretty cool. Like this is a nice quality hat. Also, this is the mic. It's a really awesome mic, but I'm afraid that it's like pulling down on my shirt. But I don't want to like hold it because I feel like it looks really silly. But I feel like this also looks really silly. So I'm working with equipment. I'm becoming very famous right now, guys. I promise. What was I saying? I don't even know. The video was very much of just a recap of the show because I feel like so many people wanted to know what happened. Like, what does she actually do on tour? But in conclusion, it was just a lot of fun. You could tell, like, this was definitely a passion project and it really kind of shined through. But it's just like, even if you aren't a Trisha Paytas fan, and even if, I guess most people, obviously everyone there probably was, but it was just like the amount of positivity and like awesome vibes. And I think one thing is like whenever my friends and I went to see Chapel Roan, the vibes were just really great. It was about, our theme was Pink Pony Club, and it was just like all the girlies wearing pink. And the same thing was happening at the Benedum. It was just like so much pink, so many costumes, and I just kind of felt like such a safe space because it was this huge theater filled with like really cool people. So I think for me, not that I'm not a Trisha Paytas fan, I just haven't been following her for so long. Like, I was only allowed access to the internet until I was a little bit older. I wasn't really in Trisha Paytas's prime, but my friend was. And it was just, like, fun to see the evolution, but also just, like, how people have met her in different stages and just being introduced to this, like, world of internet culture that, like, I wasn't a part of, but it was cool to see and just be with. Well, so much for watching. This video was a little bit different than some of my other content because it's just a recap of things that I saw and just wanted to talk about. I've also been putting off this video for a while, so it might not be the most timely, but at any second Trisha Paytas could give birth, so I might just, I don't know, speak that into existence. But thank you so much for watching. Feel free, if you're kind of already watching the channel, do a binge watch some of my other videos. I have more structured content in the works. This one was very casual. I just honestly just got off work and I was looking for something to do because I've been really busy. So I have more scripted content coming soon in the future, so make sure to subscribe for that. I'm currently doing a video about Barbie Life in the Dream House, and I love Barbie Life in the Dream House, so that's coming up soon. I'm also doing some more videos that I'm going to keep a secret because it also might take me a month to film them, so we're not going to talk about those too soon. But yeah, do the like, do the subscribe, comment down below if you know who Trisha Paytas is, or if you have a favorite Trisha Paytas song. But yeah, I feel like even before coming to this tour, I got to see a new side of Trisha Paytas, which was awesome because now my life goal is